Hello everyone and welcome back to MixBuzz TV mixing and mastering tutorials on YouTube. If you follow the channel, you've seen that these days I'm testing new plugins, and among them there is the Softube Summit Tube Leveling Amplifier TLA 100A. And the reason because I'm reviewing this one in particular is because I think Softube, Henrik, they did an amazing job with this one. They really, in my opinion, shortened the distance between hardware and plugins sound-wise. Before we start, please allow me to say a couple of things. First of all, I'm not sponsored by Softube. And second, I ain't gonna bullshit you. You will never hear from me a review that is not exactly what I think. And I'm not gonna review a plugin that I don't use or that I don't honestly like. So let's get to it. The Softube Summit TLA 100A is an emulation of an opto tube compressor. It has very simple controls. We have an attack in 3-position fast, medium, and slow, a release 3-position fast, medium, and slow, a meter that can show the output or the gain reduction, a gain, which is your makeup gain, and the gain reduction, which is your threshold. Then we have a control for the external or internal sidechain, and then we have the exclusive to the plugin feature. In this panel down below, we have a low-cut filter here, which is a variable low-cut filter. Then we have a saturation knob, and I tell you, the algorithm of this saturation is among the best sounding that I've ever heard. And then we have a parallel inject, where you can blend wet and dry signal, compressed and uncompressed signal without the need of external routing. You can do it inside the plugin and have no phase issues whatsoever. An interesting thing is this control. The low-cut filter can be set only for the detector or for the input, meaning if you activate the low-cut filter and you have this control set to detector, the low-cut filter will affect only what the compressor sees. But if you set it on the input, in that case, the compressor will actually low-cut the audio material, so the output of it. We will take a listen to it in a minute. So let's get to it and let's test this compressor on the 2-bus.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time. You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time. I will give you this life that I'm in.
Okay, so the first thing that I want you to notice is this compressor has a nice, dark, warm character. Even with no gain reduction at all, it makes everything a lot warmer, and the top end gets very soft, very pleasant to hear, not blurry at all. It just has a lot of harmonics, and I'm not a fan of opto compressors on the 2-bus, but with this one, even I can get away with it. So let's try some different settings for the attack and release.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time. You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes, what else you got in there?
Listen how it brings up all the richness in the low mid area, and how smooth the top it gets. And let's try the low cut on the detector too.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes, what
Without.
else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time.
It is so warm. Let's try the saturation knob from clean to fully clockwise.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time.
It sounds very, very nice. It only starts to kind of crap out when you go like 11. Otherwise, it's very pleasant, very good sounding. Let's try some parallel compression. Let's squeeze the mix.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare. Behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time.
So this will be dry. Let's add.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare. Behind those eyes, what else you got in there?
Without.
'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time.
It makes everything sound so much bigger and wider too. Listen to the stereo field.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare. Behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you
Very nice. And if we listen to the all wet signal,
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare.
it doesn't really sound bad, even at extreme settings like this. So it's very organic, very, very good sounding. Let's try it on drum bus, for example, and see how the saturation does there. I love the parallel compression in this one. Let's start to compress. Without it. Really, really good. Okay, let me show you the two different options that you have. So if you have the low cut set on the detector, when you apply the low cut, you only take out the low end from the detector circuit, from what the compressor is seeing, from what is triggering the compressor. But if you set it on input, you actually cut the audio output, okay? And you might ask, why would I want to do it? Well, I found a use for this exactly in this mix. So I had this drum room here, and it's just a reverb of what I'm sending the whole drum bus. And this is how it sounded before using the TLA on. Okay? So at first, I wanted to compress the drum before hitting the verb, and I set it up like this. Let me turn the volume up a bit. Okay. When I went to add this verb to the whole song, to the drum, it was a little too boomy. So what I did is I set the low cut on input and cut it all the way up. And that was the sound that I got. Then I added a little bit of EQ just to brighten up the top end. And this is how it sounds with the drum. Let's put the volume back. Without the low cut. Listen to the kick drum. Okay? So not only it adds saturation and color and character to the reverb, but I could actually equalize it so that I could have a little more air and more headroom with less mud and less low end in the reverb directly from here, and I just find it very, very handy. So let's try it on something else, for example bass. And this is a very nice application for this compressor. Very nice. You can apply a lot of gain reduction without it sounding unnatural. Let's try some extreme setting and then blend it in with the dry signal. Like full distortion like this. Without. This is very good. Let's hear it in the mix.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare.
Without.
Behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop.
Love it. Let's try it on vocals because as I mentioned before, one thing that I love about this one is the fact that it rounds the top end in a very, very nice way. This is what I think when I think real hardware. The natural roll-off that you have at the top end, and that makes things less digital, quotes.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare.
No compression with and without.
Behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time. You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare. Behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time.
On vocals is absolutely fantastic.
You make it hard, I wanna stop and stare. Behind those eyes, what else you got in there? 'Cause you make me feel like I should learn to stop time.
Wow. Very rarely, if ever, I've heard a plug-in compressor sounding this natural, especially on vocals. Let's hear it on piano. All of a sudden it goes from 2 or 3 dB to 10 dB gain reduction, and it's not sounding unnatural. And honestly, I don't think you can set it in a way to make it sound bad. At least I tried and I couldn't do it. So that says something. The very last test I want to do is on electric guitars. Okay, reason because I want to test it on electric guitars is because the top end of the electric guitars is usually a very sensitive area. It's very difficult to make them sound bright enough but not harsh. So let's try it. There you have it. Yeah, you can immediately hear how the top end it's smoother and more pleasant. Without. Well, this is pretty nice. Let's start to compress. The makeup gain sounds very good when you turn it up. Let's try to push it. Listen to the fizziness at the top. Let's match the volume. Yeah. Absolutely lovely. Very, very good job by Softube and Henrik with this Summit tube leveling amplifier TLA 100A. In my opinion, they really bridged the gap between hardware and software with this. If not, they're pretty close. So this is it for today. Soon we're gonna review also the equalizer, the Softube Summit EQF 100, if I'm not mistaken. I hope this video was informative. If you liked it, please don't forget to click the like button, share, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.